Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. I nearly bailed out on this video. Yep, bails. Had a lot of comments on that, so thought I'd put something together for you so you can decide how you do it. Let's check it out. So as I said, I've had a lot of comments. People asking what, how, when I use to replace missing bails. Between you and me, probably 80%, maybe even higher, of the beaters that I buy to restore that sort of thing are missing their bails. Well, here we go. The plot thickens. If you hang on, I'll show you some ideas that I use to do that kind of stuff. Now there's a lot of different choices, and look at this picture. Yep, there's a bunch of different types of bails out there, and it depends on the knife style, the thickness of the knife, the manufacturer, how they use it, the shape of it, all sorts of things. So you saw there, and if you looked at the top of the picture, you saw I had some stuff there that I keep to try and figure out how I'm going to do the bail. The first time I came across this, I was restoring a Camp King. Okay, now I'm new to restoring, and I just got into it. And now it's all I do. I go out and I find beaters like this, or like this, or like this, or like this, that all need bails. Now, if you're lucky, you find them with a bail. Now, the easiest way, I think, and the way I look at it, is when I go to a swap meet, I go to an antique mall, I go to whatever, and I'm looking for beaters. I look for that $1 junk box. One of the reasons is there's going to be knives in there that are toast. Handles are damaged, missing blades, rusted to pieces. But there's a bail on it. I don't think you can buy a bail online, a new one, for $1. If you can find them. You might want to look on eBay. I was lucky enough where a subscriber in a mail call sent me a bunch of bails. Now, most of them are for smaller knives. Kind of this little thing. You can see how thin it is. It's a small knife. But now I've got plenty of small bails. And then I started looking at beaters and what I was buying and when I was buying. And the last video, if you watch the last video where I went on that knife hunt with Keith, we went to 3 different stores in one day. Yeah, I was exhausted. Busted the budget, and I found some good stuff. There's a lot of those places have the $2, the $5 for anyone, $1 for anyone boxes. And if you look carefully through them, you're going to find them. I would get them. If you're looking for parts like I am right now, I have more problems finding blades or tools for the knives. You got to match them. You can't just willy-nilly, you can modify an Imperial spear point to fit on a Camillus camper. You can do things like that, but the tank stamp is the problem. You got to keep that tank stamp if you want to restore the knife properly. So I look for that as well. I'll find a knife has 4 blades on it, 3 are broken off, and 1 still has good shape. It's $1. I'll take it. Simply because of that blade. Or you're looking for spacers, liners, bolsters, things like that. Now bolsters is probably the hardest thing, especially on this style here. You find these knives 9 times out of 10, you've got the bolsters, the little toenails or whatever you want to call them, tip bolsters, will have 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Trying to find one to match is not easy. Some people have the tools and the workshop that they can actually make them. Great, I don't. Plus, I'm not really that talented. So keep that in mind. That's the first place I would start looking. Now, that first bale I made that I was talking about on the Camp King, if you look at a Camp King, this is very typical of the hole that the bale goes into. Okay, it's a Camp King. The nice thing is, yep, clamshell. And these are a dime a dozen out there. So if you find an old one, you can practice on it. Try it out. And you say, well, I can't even put a bale on because I don't have one. Well, hang on. Ha! Look what I got. Clothes hanger. Wire clothes hanger. It is. Find them anywhere. And it just so happens... Let me see if I have one. Hold on. Cutters. I got this wire hanger. I'm just going to cut a piece of wire off it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I just cut this off. Here's the hole. Here's the wire hanger. Look at that. Let me show you. It's a perfect fit, right? Just a piece of wire. It bends easily. You can shape it how you want. And you can use this. But then you look at this knife. Too big. It's not going to fit. Okay? So there's that problem. Typically on the big campers and that sort of thing, a wire hanger will work for you. You can shape it any way you want. I would look at the manufacturer, find another Camp King, have a look at it, and bend one of these to match what they got. Now there's different kinds. And if you saw that picture I showed you, you see what I'm talking about. A lot of them are like this. Can you see that? Okay, this one's a little bent and beaten up. But it has the loop, and then it has those odd bend-ins to fit. Okay? Well, you can do that, but if you look at the side, kind of hard to do that. Now, you can get punches, and you can punch this wire flat and make that mark. If you look hard enough, you can find them. Or you don't have to have the little bulge on there. You can just beat on this and flatten it out at the height you want it, bend it in and put it in. It takes a little practice, but you can do it. Now, the majority of them are not that complicated. They typically are just a Y piece with little hooks in them. So you literally bend this over at a right angle and make it line up there, bend this around and do the same thing on the other side. Okay? Pretty straightforward. But sometimes you've got to figure out how to bend it without it being crooked and things like that. Like I said, it takes some practice. Then you have this. See this guy? Look at that. And yep, there's a lot of that out there. Basically what they're doing is they're putting the pin that holds the liners, the springs and everything through the bale as well. And you round up having to pin this onto the blade, onto the knife. And you've got to flatten it out, drill the holes, but you can do it. Those I think are pretty hard to do because I don't have so much the problem of making the bale, but pinning it and getting it right at that right tension so that the knife won't open and close. The whole point of the pin going through is to hold the knife together and not move. And you've got to get it just right so that this will still swing on the actual knife. The bigger the knife, the easier the bail. Then you start shrinking, like this. They're all different thicknesses, different sizes. This is no way going to match this knife. It's thin, you know, the bail itself is almost as thick as the knife. That doesn't work. Same thing with this one. It's a little thicker, but it doesn't look right. Even this one, 2-blade jack, it doesn't look right. It's too thick. It doesn't match. So what do you do then? Most of the comments that I got on this, I can't remember what knife it was, but I made a bail, and unfortunately I didn't show you how I made it. Well, what I did was I went to the local hardware store. You see this thing? It's called this. You can see that? And I couldn't remember the name because I bought them. It came in the package. I took them out of the package because I wanted to put them in my box of goodies for bails, and I forgot the name. These ones are called monkey hook. It's a picture hanger for drywall. You take this and here's the drywall. You can push it through the drywall all the way, swing it around like that. This is touching the drywall here, and now you've got a hook. When you put the picture on here, it pulls down on here and pushes onto the inside of the drywall and holds your picture on the wall. I like these. And you can see the big thing is it's spring steel. And you go, whoa, hard. Yeah, it's hard, but you can bend it and shape it. And the nice thing about it is when you're trying to get that bail onto here, you make it a little bit tighter so that when you put it in this side, you actually have to pull up on it and drop it in that hole. The spring steel doesn't lose its shape as much. If you have soft steel, you bend it up, it stays there. You'll end up having to push it in. Not ideal. The spring steel, you lift it up and it snaps back to the position that it was in. And it really holds the bail well on a knife. So that's ideal. If you can find something like this made out of a hard or a spring steel, perfect. There's different people that make them, and they call different things. And I believe, well, this one here came from a hardware store, and I believe it was the monkey hook. And this one, I think I got at Walmart. How do you tell the difference? Look at the hooks. Okay, the shape of the hooks is different. This one has more of a bend back in it, where this one is just a right angle. They look the same thickness, but I think, I want to say the Walmart is thinner. So there's different thicknesses of them. You just have to hunt for them. So you've got this, your wire hanger, picture hangers, and if you can just find any hard steel, you can bend it and form it any way you want. It just takes practice. Well, how do you bend it? How do you form it? I hack my way through it. Basically, I look at how thick the knife is, and then I find something that is a little thicker than the width of the knife. Something round, a wooden dowel, something like that, that you can wrap the wire around, and you get that nice clean round look to it. And you can then bend the outsides and get it to match. It's kind of fiddly, but if you practice or you just take your time with it, you can shape it. The other problem is getting the shape to match the manufacturer. That takes a little bit more as well. All you need is something to bend the wire around. If you can do that, if you can have different sizes, wooden dowels, steel rods, whatever, that you only need a piece this long, put it in the vise and wrap the wire around it. There you go. Now, I told you that you can go to swap meets, places like that, and find old bales. The problem with old bales is this. Look at the shape. It's been bent and battered. It doesn't match anymore. And I can tell you, it's really hard to get it back to where you want it. But if you're careful, you can push it in, bend, and get it reasonably the way the manufacturer has it. Now, some of them will have bales that look like this. Pretty easy to do. Same thing again. You just put the wire in the vise and bend it around. It'll give you a natural bend in it. Different sizes, different wires, different knives. A lot of people are like, how? What are you doing? That's the way I do it. Is it right? Have no idea. But it seems to work for me, and it's taken me a couple of times to get kind of good at it. No, not even kind of. I still struggle. I'll go through a whole wire hanger because I keep bending it wrong or doing something wrong. And once you've bent it wrong, you can never get the kink out of it again. You can straighten it, but it'll have a kink. So keep that in mind. Like I said, there's a lot of different. The guy, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, who sent me these, the little guys, are a certain size. Now, you can see here, let me get another one. This is my life. You can see it matches the thickness of the knife. Perfect, right? Not so much. Look where the hole is. Look how far down the hole is from the top. If I put this on, it barely matches that hole. I can get the holes to line up. The problem is, let me hold it there for you. Yeah, it's too short. So you have to look at the knife, where the hole is that you want the bale to go into. Fortunately, on this one, you can see the pin above it and the hole below it. Thank goodness. I wouldn't want to pin one of these on there. It's really takes a lot of practice. But this one, I could just bend and clip it in. This one's even thinner, so I need thinner wire. Here's that monkey thingy, and if I look at it, you can just try and cut it off cleanly, file it flat, and see if it'll fit in the hole. A little too big, okay? Well, what do I do now? I'm stuck. How many of you guys buy pinning material online? You can't buy a single size, right? You have to buy the pack, which goes from this thick to that thick, and you throw 99% of them away. Well, don't. Keep them. You get aluminum, brass, spring steel. Okay? And here you have one here. This is an aluminum. Came in one of those packs. And look at that. It fits perfectly. Well, you go, aluminum's a little soft. This is a small knife. It's not going to put any pressure on that bale unless you drop it on the ground and stand on it. But it would work. You can make a bale for this thing. And being aluminum, it's soft. It's really easy to manipulate. Another thing you can look at is if you look at the knife, okay, and it has brass on it, go with a brass bale. If you don't have anything else, you can get the brass rods in different sizes. And I'm looking at this one. Look at that. Fits in there perfectly, right? I look at the knife and look at the liners. Brass. It'll match. Even better if you find one that has brass bolsters, because they shine up nicely. You got a brass bale. It looks like it should be there. So think about stuff like that. Whenever I go to the hardware store, I wander around and look for things. Now, I was just at the hardware store today, finding these. It only took me about an hour, because I couldn't remember what they were called. And I always thought that this was something that you'd use for plates that would sit in there and it holds the plate up so you can display your vintage plate. But it's not. It's a picture hanger for a wall. So I went over to that area where they had picture hangers, wall hangers, whatever hangers, about to give up, and right at the bottom there were these guys. So, you know, when you're in the hardware store, I wander around and look at everything. Now here's some pictures that I took because I was at Ace Hardware, and they have those trays full of just about anything you could want that you're not going to find anywhere else. And they have, here it is here. You can see what I was looking at. I took pictures, different sizes that come in bigger, smaller sizes. The smaller, the thinner the wire that they're using. Pretty cool. And now I know where to look if I can't find one of the pieces of wire or whatever I have. I can take my knife over there and take one of those clips and line it up and look. So a little bit of persistence can get you a long, long way. It's just like antique shopping. Look carefully, look everywhere. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you guys. And I'm thinking, I'm all set up to do a different video, but you know what I'm going to do? Let's make the bail for this guy. And I've got, what did I do with it? I just threw it somewhere. Got that brass rod, which you would use for pinning on some knives, call for a brass pin. You can buy, like I said, you can buy them online. I actually get, let me find another piece. Oh, I don't have one. I've got to find that now. I got the dropsies. Old age. Hands don't work as well as they used to. Yeah. I got these, and the problem with knives is like, just with the bails, the pins are different sizes. You know, depending on where they're made. If you deal with European ones, or USA ones, or Japan, or China, or anything like that, Pakistan, name a country, Germany, they're all different. And they're either metric or they're not. And different sizes. I got myself a fairly cheap micrometer. One of these guys. If you've never used one before, it's pretty straightforward. The electronic ones are very easy to use. And what it does is you can move this back and forth and measure the diameter of something. For example, my wire hanger right here. I can put it in here and measure how thick it is. Okay, and you don't want to clamp down on it or have it loose. You want it to feel it drag a little bit, and then you can look at how what the number is. On this one, and 99.9% of them will give you the option of inches or millimeters. And you can see here, I can switch it on. You want to set it to 0. Whoops. And hit the 0 button. Once I've got it closed completely, I'm going to try and do this. Zeroed it. Now I can put the wire in here, line it up, and get the measurement. 2.4 millimeters. Well, what's that in inches? 0.1. Okay. So now you're off to the hardware store. You got your micrometer. You find a piece of wire and you're wondering, will that work? You can take a quick measurement. Now, the other thing is these are designed to not only measure the outside diameter, but the inside as well. This closes on your finger. This measures outside. So if you have, for example, a washer you needed and it's got that hole on the inside, and you need to know you've got a bolt that you want to fit into a washer, but a nice tight fit, you can go there, put this inside the washer and open it up, because this will show you the inside dimensions of the washer, and you read it off here and does it match your bolt. So they're handy to have. It's just a simple digital caliper. I call it a micrometer, whatever. I'm a foreigner, and I don't even know where I got this one. I think I just bought it on Amazon, or it may have been sent to me. I never know. You guys are generous and you send me stuff and I lose track. So there you go. A quick hack to get around missing bales. The reason the bales are missing so much on these old beaters out there is people put these in their pocket. Look how wide it is. And now you add a bale to it. The bale is designed to put it on your key rings, hang it on your belt, whatever. But when you put it in your pocket, that bale sticks out in your pocket. And if they're anything like me, I start to shake. I have to. This is about the limit I want in my pocket. Anything more than this, I can feel it and I think about it all day. Put a bale on this, no. But I'm making my knives clean and shiny and sharp. I'm restoring them for my collection. 9 out of 10 of them will never go in my pocket. They go into my collection. So I put the bale on. If it came with a bale, it gets a bale. There you go. Hopefully that helps you guys. If you have any questions, comments below. If you have any ideas or better ideas or different ideas, let me know. I am going to go and put the bale on this guy. A straightforward, plain, round bale that's just going to clip in there using my brass rod. You be safe out there, especially working with stuff like this. I just cut that hanger, right? What happens if I cut it and the piece flies off? Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. Wear gloves. You might snip yourself on by accident. Just saying. And I tell you, it stings. So there you go. Wait until the end of the video if you want to watch me make this guy. In the meantime, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. If there's anything else you see me do, or you think I might be able to figure out, comments below. I was thinking I can do these quick videos, well, reasonably quick. I mean, it's 30 minutes, never going to get back. But hopefully I can come up with something that'll help you. And of course, in the comments below, you can help us all. Give us your ideas. Thanks for watching. Always, always appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon. Bye. Whoa, wait, here's the video. Okay, here we are at my workbench. And while I was here in my tray, I found this piece as well. And I was wondering if this would be better for here. And if you look very carefully, let me zoom for you here, you can see the hole. When I put this in, you'll see what I'm talking about. See that? It's just that much too small. This is the piece I have, and it fits in there nice and tight. See that? I think this is a better fit. The bale will turn in there, and it's a nice tight fit. You don't see the gaps as much. Now I'm wondering, are they the same size? So back to this thing, switch it on, close it off, make sure it's at 0. Measure. I'm a millimeters guy. I find it easier. 1.6. Okay, this one 1.4, so this one is 0.2 smaller, plus it's all bent and dinged. So I want to go with this. I've got my side cutters and some needle nose pliers. Okay, tape up your pliers because they have this on it and they tend to scratch this stuff up. So if you put a bit of tape on there, you won't have to be doing any cleanup afterwards. Like I said, I'm going to be snipping stuff, so I got my safety glasses. I'm not too worried about the gloves, but if you're not comfortable, wear gloves. So I have this guy, and you can see it's pretty thin. Okay, perfect. I love these knives. This is a Kent. If you're not familiar with Kent, they were Woolworths sold these. They had a bunch of knives that they sold at Woolworths, the department store, and they were made by my favorite people, Camillus, for Woolworths. And I'm a Camillus fanboy. So beautiful handle. It's got cracks in it. Lots to do on this one, but it does need a bail, so we might as well do that now. So over here I've got my Camillus collection here, and I'm hoping I have a knife with a bail that's the same size. Oh, the humanity. I don't. So I'm going to make the bail. Maybe they added that bail. These are my Kents here. Same size, no bail. But this is a swell end rather than an equal end with the same on both sides. We need to make it look good. So we'll bend it and look at it and decide how long we want it. So I'm just going to go on and make it. I don't want to chit chat because it makes the video take forever. I'll try and show you at least most of the process, the important parts anyway. bent it. Yeah, I bent it. So there it is there, but when I try to squeeze it together, I bent it on this side here in the middle. Once you bend these things, you will never get it straight again. See, that's there, that's there. But you see the process. What do you do? But you can see how to do it. I would like these to be in more. I'm going to try press them in more. So there's less side-to-side movement on the bales. And now I have it crooked. And there you see. And you can see where I bent it there. But you get the idea. And that's how I make my bales. You know, it's hit and miss. Sometimes I'll make them 3 times before I'm happy with them. I can try and straighten this. Brass is pretty soft, and I think that's half the problem. Spring steel works so much better. So there you are. This style of bale is by far the easiest to do. Just get a small thing to put there, bend it around there, and curve these ones in, and you're good to go. Very easy. Rounding it is a little bit more difficult.